What movies look like behind the
Special
scenes?
effects for movies are like makeup for
Okay.
women. You can definitely see the difference with and without it. It's the work behind the scenes, though, which creates the magic on screen.
Yeah.
Spider-Man owes his superhuman strength and agility to a radioactive spider bite. The only
Mm.
problem is Tom Holland's an actor, and pole vaulting across the canal requires the assistance of cables. Don't worry, though. They can scrub those out when adding in Hydro Man in post-production. Web slinging across the skies in New York can also be made possible because of this. Although the look of fear might not always be an act.
Way over there.
Tom Cruise is famous for performing all his own stunts, but this one had the cast and crew fearful for the famous actor's life.
Trying to get my honey bun. Good. Man, hell no, he tweaking.
Riding a motorbike off a ramp on the side of a mountain takes some balls.
Damn right.
Moves since the Mission Impossible star hurtling to his death. And just in case they didn't get the perfect shot on the first take, they had him do it 6 more times.
Shit.
When you have a scene as chaotic as this one from Fast X,
Wouldn't even be.
just
Huh?
know there's gonna be a
Yeah,
ton
Dom
of
Toretto was a
footage
motherfucking
used
crazy.
to pull it off.
Motherfucking crazy, man.
From overhead pulleys pulling the prop
Mm.
bomb to exploding fire caps simulating a ruptured gas bomb.
It's a lot of CGI, see. Look at the drones.
Madness. Speaking of, prop
I don't know how the
buses
fuck they do that.
are expensive. So 3
Damn right.
different angles were
Oh,
all
they ain't want nobody on there.
you
See
know, just
CGI, there they
in
go.
case.
God damn, see, I don't even look like a movie. Ain't too much shit out there that look like it.
For millions of years, but in Jurassic World Dominion, they had the next best thing. The rest of the enormous lizard was filled in with special effects to make for one terrifying encounter.
God dang.
Up like 3 inches.
But sometimes you don't have the luxury of robotic dinosaurs or even the real actors. In this chase scene, Chris Pratt wasn't even in the country at the time of filming.
Who?
So they used a stunt double and digitally added his face in much later.
Chill.
What if I told you John Wick didn't take on 6 sword-wielding motorcyclists while riding through the streets of New York?
Now, how you do that? Yeah, see?
Complete with fans, strobe lights that simulate street lights, and even more
Green
suit guys
screen.
controlling the motorbikes. And falling from a 4-story rooftop, Keanu's stunt double had a much easier landing than it
Damn.
looked in the final cut. No modern
What the
superhero is complete without a team of invisible stunt actors helping them fly, flip, and fight supervillains with CGI powers. But when Shazam had to catch an actual bus that had crashed over the side of an overpass, they needed to bring in the big guns.
What
whole
the
sequence
fuck?
was filmed in slow motion, with heavy-duty suspension cables and a motorized jack lifting the 18,000-pound bus upright for the sequence. Rather than
Chill.
throwing Tom Holland out of an actual plane for this scene on Uncharted, they came up with a safer alternative.
Chill, bro. This man.
Spider-Man would
See?
be okay with doing his own
It's like, bro, they don't be
stunts,
going
but I
nowhere.
guess even superhumans need a day off sometimes.
CGI, cool as shit.
When Ryan Reynolds faced off against a Jack
Damn,
version of
punch his
himself,
ass in his
Free Guy,
fucking
it was
nostril.
impossible to find someone who checked all the boxes. Superhuman strength,
Pick the shit out of it.
plus good looks.
Fake as hell.
So they reverted to the next best thing. A vaguely similar looking bodybuilder and a whole heap of CGI. The results was a surprisingly convincing boss fight featuring Ryan kicking his own ass. How do you create a realistic
start making
tsunami
them.
without the help of an underwater earthquake? Well, in the movie The Impossible, you start by shrinking a Thai resort down to miniature size, surrounding it with green screens and then flooding the tiny diorama into oblivion.
God damn.
When you can't shrink the actors themselves, some creative sets and a whole lot of water help create the apocalyptic event.
Yo, that
So we
shit
make
is
a horrible
tough.
tragedy look like a fun little water slide.
I want to do CGI. I'm ready.
Green morph suit guys typically don't get a whole lot of credit.
Do it on my little
Despite most of the
NPC.
heavy
It's gonna
lifting.
blow up.
So in 2020's The Invisible Man, it was finally his time to shine. With the help of
I'm ready to get a green
way
screen
too
suit.
many things to keep track of, our green hero shows off his superhuman strength time and time again. This might look like a 5-star police chase straight out of GTA 5, but it's actually a behind-the-scenes look of the movie Ambulance.
Oh, hell
Cop
no.
cars sit on tracks, time-sensitive explosions, and all the extras playing cops know exactly when to get out of the way. for the most part anyway. They only had one shot to pull it off, and the result is crazy. What do you call superheroes without powers? Adults in cosplay. But that's just the harsh reality of Supergirl and the Flash flexing their talents prior to the wonders of special effects. This shot of Sherlock Holmes and his arch-nemesis tumbling in slow motion over a waterfall in a game of shadows marks a fitting end to the franchise. But this scene definitely couldn't have been done on location or even in real time. Oh, and the massive green screen set? That's elementary, my dear Watson. Before Johnny Depp was cleaning his bedsheets from unwanted house guests, he was busy battling undead sharks in the Caribbean. Only the sharks were fake, the ocean was actually a giant swimming pool, and the shooting location was nowhere near the Bahamas. Put it all together though, and you got a pretty convincing swashbuckling battle on your hands. Quicksilver's epic high-speed run in X-Men Days of Future Past may have saved a lot of mutant lives, but his faster-than-speed abilities were nothing more than some good old movie magic. To create this faster-than-sound sequence, filmmakers filmed Evan Peters running on a treadmill and blended in with a rotating shot that had been slowed down. The result was this slow-mo masterpiece. There's no bigger showdown in movie history than the epic Avengers boss fight with Thanos at the end of Endgame. But how do you film a scene where every square inch is filled with superpowers, monsters, aliens, and mythological creatures? Well, for starters, you need a huge green screen set, more motion capture tech than you thought possible, and of course our favorite superhero, green morph suit guys doing all the hard work. When the bullet train carrying Brad Pitt suddenly runs out of track and slams into a concrete barrier, it creates one of the most cinematic derailments of all time.
Chill.
But rather than actually sacrificing a Shinkansen and an entire Japanese suburb, the movie directors spliced together real footage of a first Brad Pitt and added everything else in afterwards. Who do you think wins in a fight between Superman and the Flash? In special effects land, the pair are evenly matched. Superman can react in real time to the super fast Flash, but take away the magic of CGI and you can see who needs the most help. Even the power of 3 morph suit guys plus Flash isn't enough to outbattle the Man of Steel.
Damn.
Whether you're running from a horde of angry baboons or being eaten by a rampaging hippo, the wildlife from Jumanji: The Next Level definitely isn't friendly. But rather than training hordes of murderous monkeys to chase you over rope bridges, the special effects team relied on some cool tricks to bring the deadly world to life. As for the hippo scene, yeah, you just need to shake Jack Black around for a little while.
Alright.
The best thing about filming actors that play dwarves is that you can shrink everything down and you'll never lose perspective. That's why instead of filming the Hobbit's whitewater barrel scene in actual river rapids, they were able to do it in a controlled set. It's not easy fighting invisible orcs with green batons while camera crew pour freezing cold water over your heads, but these guys made it work.
What movie was this?
This slick action sequence from Hobbs and Shaw really sums up the entire franchise. Fast, furious, and without a fear of heights. The secret behind this high-altitude spectacle comes down to a matter of perspective. Rather than Idris Elba diving out of a 40-story skyscraper window, it's only a few feet before some gym mats break his fall. And doing an Australian rappel with someone over your shoulder is a lot easier when you're just running on solid ground. If you're wondering how they made vampires sparkle in Twilight, the answer is glitter. But if you're trying to figure out how they shot this scene, the answer might shock you. Thank God for the wonders of CGI, or we'd be left with this low-effort cosplay. Activating beast mode for Disney's live-action remake is no easy task. So to play the swole furry, this guy spent the majority of his time on set wearing padded clothes, a range of motion sensor captures, and spring-loaded stilts. Looking more like an inflatable crash test dummy than a medieval prince, the magic really didn't happen until the CGI artist took over. Nothing beats apocalyptic movies quite like 2012. Despite the Mayan calendar failing to rub out humanity, it didn't stop movie creators from trying to recreate the end of the world. From hydraulically controlled earthquakes to cars being intentionally flung across the set, creating chaos was the name of the game. When Persian messengers visited the Spartan nation, they were occasionally met with the good old-fashioned Spartan hospitality. This, of course, refers to being thrown down a bottomless well. 300 revives this Spartan tradition, yet for the movie, the bottomless hole was replaced by a green screen foam pit. It's great to see the Spartans taking notice of workplace health and safety. Do you believe everything you see on
That's
TV?
tough.
Well, you shouldn't, because as the behind-the-scenes footage of
I hope a
Dynamite
motherfucker wouldn't really get thrown in the damn black hole.